Okay, so today's classwork is basically going to be the same as we done last week, but for the first example, I'm going to put a much simpler problem just so you guys get the hang of following the CFS. There honestly isn't that many problems because you've been practicing this all week. So the first thing that you should do is in your paper, what I did was I wrote down each table. Okay, so that I could make sure to take down notes. Now, shout out to Pasami who reminded me that there's sometimes where I rewrite the table wrong. So just make sure that you actually pay attention to the tables and make sure you put the correct values. So what I have on top is the CFS, and we're going to follow the CFS, and it's only 3 steps because really all you need is 3 steps to solve these problems. Okay, so here it says select all tables that represent a proportional relationship between X and Y. Anytime it says select all tables, that means that there could be more than one answer, okay? It's not just one. Usually it means there's more than one. So I'm going to start off with the first one. So what we have again is X on the top, Y on the bottom. And the first thing that my step tells me for step 1 is to identify each ratio. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So this is ratio 1, ratio 2, ratio 3, ratio 4. Can you turn that off? Sorry, that's my sister's alarm. Thanks. Okay, so ratio 1, we don't really need to rewrite it because that's just 0, 0. And so what we're going to do is write ratio 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to put ratio 2, ratio 3, ratio 4. And again, it's the same thing that we've been doing, especially because there's whole numbers here. So let's look at step 2. It says convert any mixed number into an improper fraction. So here, there's no improper fraction, so we don't need to do that. And so the last step, step 3, is to determine if there's a constant of proportionality for each table by dividing y over x. So some of you might do this a lot quicker, and you're able to find the multiples. That's totally fine as well. So I'm just going to start off with just getting you guys used to y over x. So ratio 1, we have y over x, which is 1 over 1, that equals 1. Ratio 3, we have y over x, which is 4 over 2, which is 2. So I already know that this is not proportional, so I'm moving on. Now you're going to do this for each table, which is why I didn't put that many problems on there, because this is pretty time consuming. So for each table, we have ratio 2, 3, 4. Any proportional table will have 0, 0, anything times 0, 0, so we don't need to do ratio 1. So what we have is y over x, 2 over 1. Remember, the y is on the bottom, so it would be 2 over 1, that equals 2. The next one, we have y over x, which is, we have 4 over 2, okay, that equals 2. Now the last one, we have 8 over 3, and I already know that 8 over 3 does not give me 2, right? It gives me like, I don't know, 2 point something. Let's say, I'm not sure. But it would definitely be 2 2/3. So table 2 is not proportional. And again, you do this for each one. So I'm going to do this for the last one, and then you could do, if you, table 4. But all of you should get the hang of it at this point. Ratio 1, that equals 0, which again, like I said, that means any relationship that's proportional goes through the origin. It goes through 0, 0 because you start off at 0. So that counts. So let's start one more time. We have y over x. This one is 1/3. Y over x. This one is 2/6. Now 2/6, if I were to simplify that, I could divide by 2. That also gives me 1/3. And so the last one, we have y over x, which equals 3/12. If we divide by 3, that also gives me 1/3. So all of these equal 1/3, which means this is proportional. Now the last thing that I want to say is that we're not done yet, because this also could be proportional because it says select all tables. I know 1 and 2 aren't, but 3 and 4 could also be. So what I'm going to push you to do is you're going to try this last one to see if it is proportional. So good luck.